very day, the first day of the week, two of Jesus' disciples were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus, and they were conversing about all the things that had occurred. And it happened that while they were conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near and walked with them. But their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing as you walk along?" They stopped. Looking downcast, one of them, named Cleophas, said to him in reply, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place there in these days?" And he replied to them, "What sort of things?" They said to him, "The things that happened to Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet mighty in deed and works before God and all the people. How our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we are hoping that he will be the one to redeem Israel. And besides all this, it is now the third day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astonished us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported, and they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of these with us went to the tomb and found things just as the woman had described, but him they did not see. And he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are! How slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke! Was it not necessary that Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" Then, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them what referred to him in all the scriptures. As they approached the village to which they were going, he gave the impression that he was going on farther. But they argued him, "Stay with us, for it is near evening and the day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. And it happened that while he was with them at the table, he took bread, said the blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, but he vanished from their sight. Then they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he spoke to us on the way and opened the scriptures to us?" So they set out at once and returned to Jerusalem, where they found gathered together the 11 and those with them who were saying, "The Lord has truly been risen and has appeared to Simon." Then the two recount what had taken place on the way, and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The disciples at Emmaus, encountering the risen Christ. On the road, two men were walking, deep in conversation. Perhaps they were talking about what had happened with Jesus, how it had all culminated in tragedy. These men had witnessed extraordinary moments with Jesus. They lived so many moments with Jesus. They learned from him, from his words, from his works, from his miracles. They see Jesus performing miracles. Maybe they were waiting or they wanted Jesus to live the cross. Yet they had not understood that he will rise from the dead. What were they arguing about? Perhaps they were disappointed by Christ's death on the cross. At that moment, Jesus comes and walks with them, but the men did not recognize him. In the most difficult moments of our lives, we are often unaware that God is at our side. Even when we face mountains of doubts, Christ walks with us. His presence is constant, even if we do not always persevere it. He is with us. He walks with us. There in darkness, there when we have many doubts, fears, when we have questions why this is happening, and when we don't see an answer, even there, God is with us in a mysterious way, but He's with us. Jesus called these two men, these two disciples, fools and hard-hearted for not believing in Him. Yet, as He blesses the bread and breaks it, the disciples' eyes are open. They recognize Him, but Jesus quickly disappeared. Amazed, they exclaim, "No wonder our hearts burn as He spoke to us on the road." Jesus sometimes may speak to us mysteriously. We need to be aware and alert to know how God speaks to us along the way. When we are walking in our life, we need to learn how He speaks to us. This encounter assures us that Jesus is present in our lives and in the Eucharist. He always walks with us, even in our dark nights and sorrows. Truly, the Lord is risen.